What does the word communication mean to you? Wondering what is the definition of communication? And everybody has their own version, everybody has their own definition. So, today we are going to cover this important topic as part of a new series which is called TGV MindShift series. So, folks, welcome to TGV MindShift series, a groundbreaking series where we delve into the intricacies of professional mindset mastery with the esteemed Gita Sethi. She is a repeat guest on our platform. We have already hosted her on TGVH25, which is 25th episode on our Hindi podcast. And she's a life coach, strategic advisor, and NLP trainer as well as practitioner. And Geeta brings unparalleled expertise in helping professionals cultivate successful and sustainable mindsets. And join us as we explore transformative topics aimed at unlocking your full potential and achieving professional excellence. And this is the first topic in the TGV Mindshift series. And the topic is, what does the word communication mean to you? And as we prepare to delve into our conversation on the topic at hand, here's an exciting twist. Let us tickle our guest's brain first. So, Geeta, get ready for a rapid fire round of random words. I'll mention a few, and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response without thinking much. Are you ready for it?
Sure.
All right. So here comes the first word: curiosity,
Interesting.
invention,
Discovery.
future,
Amazing.
book,
The Alchemist.
The Alchemist, one of my favorites as well. Movie,
12th Fail.
aliens,
Reminds me of Krish movie.
universe,
Grateful. Blessed.
leadership,
It's an amazing journey.
role model.
Very important. Very important for all of us.
Okay. The last one is success.
Success is 90% mindset.
Success is 90% mindset. Amazing. And this is one of the most tranquil rapid fire rounds I've ever had on my podcast. I think you are so composed and you are completely present here. That speaks volumes about it. And before I formally welcome you to the show, let me welcome the audience. So, folks, welcome to TGV, the Guiding Voice podcast series. And you have tuned into the podcast, which is currently listed in the top 2.5% globally. And this is the world's only quadrilingual podcast, which is available in Hindi, English, Telugu, and Kannada. And we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place through valuable discussions that add value not only to your life, but also to your career. And thank you so much for tuning in. And Geeta, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice English. How are you doing today?
Thanks, Naveen. Thanks a lot for welcoming with, giving my introduction and talking about your channel. And I'm really so looking forward to share today with whatever questions you're going to ask me today and share all the information what I can. And I'm really grateful to be on this platform to reach out to such a huge number of all people from different age groups and coming from different backgrounds. And I really hope that this information, what we are going to share with them, what you're going to bring it out from me, is going to be very useful for them and they should be able to apply in their lives.
Yeah, absolutely thrilled to have you here. And Geeta, you started designing lives of people. So before you embarked on this journey, talk to us about key milestones in your career. Where did it all start?
So my career has, the word design has been always in my career. So I started as a designer, as a web interface designer. Then I was a UI interface designer, usability consultant. And the three different things, what happened to me was, one of them was that at the age of 50, while I was still working as a UI consultant, I wanted to start something own on, something very new as an entrepreneur and experience from the beginning, from the scratch, like, how a company can be built up or what else has to be done. So basically, how do we start from the A level? And that thought in my mind really helped me a lot. And I got this opportunity to set up a company as a co-founder in Pune. And it was a US subsidiary. So that was an amazing journey. I started from, I was the first employee, started from everything from the beginning. They were also new to this entrepreneurship role and myself also. And yes, we all did wonderful. So it was a great, great, amazing journey. Learnings very much and experiences of, you have the whole responsibility, you have the whole ownership, how you're going to manage it. So I think that was the biggest challenge. And after that, the next milestone great happened is that once I quit from that company, I wanted to again go back in the learning zone. I wanted to again learn something new.
Okay.
Like I almost felt that I should join a college or something like that. But then it had to be something purposeful. And I was so lucky that I got this to know about neurolinguistic programming.
Yeah.
And it was just the next day I started learning, and it was another great achievement. And thanks to it, that I'm here because of that today. And I learned NLP. I'm a practitioner, a master, a trainer, and I love applying NLP, to myself and helping others. So that's been my greatest milestone.
Wonderful. And I'm eager to cover a topic on NLP. I think that is planned as part of this series. And I'm sure audience are going to learn a lot of stuff around NLP, which is one of the trending topics and which is kind of game changing domain at this moment, if I may call it, right?
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
So, Gita, you have had illustrious career and design has been part of your career right from day one as you speak. So I'm now interested to understand your success mantra. So share with our audience the top 3 things that have contributed to your success so far.
Okay, so I have a very strong belief. The way I've been thinking, I can't remember exactly from which age, maybe after school or college, where I started believing in that God has a perfect plan for me. So He needs what should I be doing and when and also how. So that's very clear in His plan. It's the way when I think about it, it looks like a project plan in front of me. An Excel sheet is like, okay, today she has to do this, then this, and at this time, and also the purpose behind it. So I have a very strong purpose to help people. So that's where it really opened my eyes when I started learning NLP. That's a skill, which is really going to help me to achieve my purpose. So the intent always has been very clear, like today also, why I'm here, why I'm talking to you, what is the purpose of this. Everything is very clear.
Yeah.
So clarity of thought and believe that God has a perfect plan for me, and I have to keep on doing my duty.
Yeah.
I'm not going to think about, how many hours I've spent, how much money I'm going to earn, this, not those kind of calculation. So it's very clear that I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm very passionate about it. And whenever I'm doing what I like to do, it gives me further energy to do it. So I think these are my strongest beliefs I have.
Wow. So you need to enjoy what you are doing, and
Yes.
God has a plan. And I love the metaphor that you have provided in terms of Excel sheet for the project planning, and likewise,
Yes.
God has created a perfect plan. So that sounds interesting. And now let's slowly get into our topic, the core topic of today's conversation, which is about communication. So everybody has their own definition for the word communication. So I would like to hear from you, what is your definition of communication? What does this word communication mean to you?
I'll have to share it in two parts. One is before learning NLP and after learning NLP. So the communication definition changed for me. So earlier it was, like, okay, you have to be able to communicate your feelings or whatever information, sharing your cases, your knowledge through a language which you have like a conversation or you talk to another person. So that is what exactly was, you should have good skills in verbal communication and written communication. So that was the requirement for corporate world. Now, after learning NLP, this whole shift has taken place in me. So what I understood, I'll just give you a very quick short one on that, and very simple, that we have two minds. One is conscious mind, one is unconscious or subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is the communication is happening parallelly. It's not just happening from one mind. It's happening from subconscious to conscious. And the way it works is that 95% of our day, we are operating from a subconscious mind and just 5% from a conscious mind. So that awareness is very less. So the more awareness we bring in ourselves, the more clarity will come through that parallel communication, and that's where we'll be able to achieve what we want in life. For example, we are spending so many days and months just reading something or just thinking, being in the past, that, oh, why did that happen, why but where are we as of now? Like today,
Yeah.
now is the moment. And as on now, whatever has happened has gone in the past. I cannot go and press all backspace and go there. I have to move ahead. So for that, I need to look further, not behind. Yes, I have to look at the lessons learned. I have to see that I don't do the same mistakes. And very important is again having your very clear purpose in mind. And
Mhm.
this communication, which started happening from subconscious to conscious mind, and that really helped me to understand how I should be able to understand other people and also understand myself. So that's been my learning of communication.
Amazing. So there is a mindset shift and there is a shift in the definition after you have gone through NLP. Wonderful. And Geeta, why do you think communication is the key to success?
So for us, anything like like I'm saying that even connecting to myself,
Mm.
connecting first to find out my purpose of life, I need to be able to communicate with my own self. Then what do I want in life, or when do I want it? So that is the first step where the connection has to happen. Then after that, it has to work to achieve success. You should be able to transmit or express your thoughts, what you want to do, and how and whatever skill you have achieved, your experiences, and whatever is the creativity which is coming within us.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
the thoughts come and go. And based on our experiences, based on our beliefs, we have established so many thoughts in our mind. And how do we use that? That can be expressed through communication. And that is really going to help us be successful. Like, what is success to me?
Mm-hmm.
Each one of us, as you rightly said, has a different explanation or understanding of success. So we have to first find out that what in our language, means
Yeah.
in my mind, in my subconscious and conscious mind, what exactly does success mean to me? Like, is it just being happy, or it's just being, having a huge bank balance, having all the material goods? So where does it go? So that communication should come within myself.
Yeah. Okay.
That should be very clear.
Yeah, got it. And that's a great perspective. Let us now dive deep into the less known or less spoken facts about the communication.
Okay, so what we all know is that, we have so many thoughts, and every day we wake up, so many things have to be done. So, as per the research, we have almost 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts in a day. Isn't it amazing? Like,
Yeah.
imagine that we can't even filter it out. So having so many thoughts in a day, and this mind keeps on working.
Yeah.
Only when we go to sleep, that is the time when our conscious mind is taking a rest, but our subconscious mind is working, and that's where the thoughts keep on happening, and that's why we get dreams at night. And sometimes you say, no, we saw this, oh, it's already happened, or it's yet to happen, because we've been thinking about it. So this huge number of thoughts are really so overwhelming. And
Mm.
that's the reason we need to take these pauses in our life to be in the
Mm-hmm.
present.
Yeah.
And also, a human can just manage or process 4 thoughts at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So it should not go beyond that. So that's one of the reasons we say, no, you become thoughtful, you become mindful, you eat slowly.
Yeah.
So then your each thought is getting processes, because only 4 can be processed at a time as per
Yeah.
the human. And besides that, I would also like to add something is that we say that communication happens through words
Yeah.
or through language, right? So in real sense, our communication, we are using only 7% of the words. The rest is totally outside our awareness. And that is 38% we are using our tonality, like how I'm, like the way I'm talking now. So suppose I'll say, oh, is it hot outside? What is happening now? So see, the tone changes and the person feels, oh, what is she saying? So if I say, oh, the weather is nice, and it's hot now.
Yeah.
So the understanding changes of that. So that's where the tonality plays a very important role, and that's 38%.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have another big number is 55%. Communication is happening through our facial expressions, our body language. So in reality, only 7% is the words what we are speaking. The rest is not seen. It's happening within us. And how can you communicate is again very important. Just knowing the language, or, by hearting the sentences, framing them, is not going to help you to share that information with others. I would like to give you one more example.
Yeah.
Now, suppose I'm looking for keys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I was like, okay, where are my keys? I'm just searching there. Or if I suddenly say, oh, where are my keys? Where did I keep them? So the person who's going to listen to it is going to feel that I'm blaming the person. So that's where the relationship goes for a toss. So communication plays a very important, the way you're doing the tonality, the way you're putting your words across, and your physiology, and that is your facial expressions. Like, you could be little, making faces and saying something. So that person is going to get, like, what is she saying?
Yeah.
So they will not understand. And again, communication is all understanding. If they can understand, the words are understood. Okay, we understand the language, but how do you get the context of it? So that's very, very important for us to know what is the message we are giving to others. That's how our relationships build up and break, and everything else falls apart after that, or it builds up really well.
I love the examples, Geeta. This is so profound conversation. And let's talk about the other part, like which is about the myths of communication, right? What are some common myths about communication?
Yeah, the common myths are saying only that I should be able to talk properly, I should be very polite. But are you able to express that politeness? Suppose now, if you're happy, you will say, I'm happy, or you'll say, oh, yeah, I'm happy. No, no, I'm not feeling sad. So, what do we feel about that? Like, see, the message is not going the way you want to give. So, do you want to make the other person feel that what you're feeling? So, you should be able to express that.
Yeah.
So that, like, okay, you should talk with a smile, you should look in the eyes and speak. Yes, these are definitely the basic ones to do. But what is the thought going in behind you is where you really need to understand your own self. And we have this like, okay, I should not be too loud. I'm like sounding rude, or that person has this kind of a shrilling voice. Here, I would also like to add, see, we say we listen and we hear. There is a difference between both. Hearing is when we're just hearing the sound.
Yeah.
Listening is where you're really understanding, and that communication is happening, which is outside our awareness.
Yeah.
And that is the subconscious listening happening, where you really are able to understand that other person's emotions, the thoughts, the message. So that's where the communication really, the connect happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, great to hear the difference between listening versus hearing, right? It's only if you are interpreting just the sound but not the meaning, and if you're not paying attention, then that is not listening as such. Wonderful. So here comes a question, and which most of my audience might be pondering about, which is about handling the difficult conversations. For example, if I have a subordinate and I have to promote them, it is easy for me to communicate with them saying that, hey, you got promoted. Whereas if I have to probably give them a bad rating because of poor performance or something, probably I'll not be as eager to communicate that message. I'll be a little hesitant, right? So this is a kind of a difficult conversation. So what will be your recommendation for professionals to handle the difficult conversations or conflicts in a constructive manner?
So, to begin with, every time, whenever we're having maybe this kind of a conversation, and we have even at work, even at home, many times we have to share some information, where we really have to be very careful what the final message is going to come, and finally, what would be the reaction to it. It's not the response, but the reaction, what will happen
Yeah.
after we, give this information to the other person. So in our minds, we should first be very clear what is our intention. What are we just giving the information? Just like, okay, you have not been promoted. Okay. So that is really going to hit badly. We all know that. So
Yeah.
how can you make it more subtle and so that the other person accepts it? So before that person is ready to accept, you have to acknowledge. So the steps what you have to take is first acknowledge what you want to say, and let that person accept it, and then appreciate what has happened. That
Yeah.
it completes the cycle. So for example, like you want to say that, you be very clear in your mind that what is the purpose, like we had this appraisal and this is how it works. And this year, this is how the promotions have been given
Mm.
based on the company's results or the company's performances, revenue, client, everything. So you have to give a company justification and prepare that person also in such a way that whatever you have been doing
Mm-hmm.
has been appreciated.
Yeah.
But the only thing what we have not been able to do is this, that to take you to the next level. And what you have been doing for that 1 year. So before we are preparing ourselves to inform to our employee or a team member that, this year they have not been promoted, we should be very clear in our minds that did they deserve a promotion and did we not give, or what were the circumstances?
Okay.
So we have the clarity within our mind,
Mm.
and we have done the appraisal process where we have discussed how was the performance and hopefully not put up the expectations too high at that
Right.
time, so that now it really falls into the wrong place. So
Mm-hmm.
how you're going to build up that rapport, build up like a story, and appreciate what has been done. And secondly, very important is that to go to the next level, these are the things what you need to work on. So
Right.
give them a solution, give them a direction. Just don't leave them there that, oh, this is what has happened. So even in our personal relations or wherever, if we are sharing some information, we know that person is not going to be happy to hear. Be prepared. First, be convinced with yourself what has happened, accept it, acknowledge it, and then express it. So it becomes easier. When we have understood that situation and we know, okay, how it can be done better next time, then we are able to explain it to the other person. So again, the communication, how you're going
Yeah.
to communicate through the words,
Mm.
definitely, which plays a very small role. How you are, your tonality, and how you are actually expressing it, your body language, your
Yeah.
facial expressions, all that is going to help you also yourself and the other person to understand the situation and take it in the right
Yeah.
way.
Got it. It's clear. Probably right from the expectation setting and then understanding why this was not given and providing some probably next steps in terms of how that person can get there, and being authentic and being genuine in the conversation might help. Wonderful.
Yes.
So this has been fabulous conversation, and Geeta, it's time for us to add some more spice and some more excitement to the episode. So if you're ready, let's kick off the second rapid fire round.
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay,
Let's
here
begin.
comes the first bullet out of second rapid fire round. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Life is beautiful.
Wonderful. And if you could swap your life with someone for a day, who would it be and why?
One day, I would love to be a music composer and singer like A.R. Rahman. So that's amazing. That is the experience I want to sit in his music room and feel how he does it, how he like we've been following him from day one, and the technology what he used,
Yeah,
everything. Yeah. One day that would
yeah.
be a dream come true.
Wonderful, wonderful. And for those of you who are not from India, A.R. Rahman is one of the top most music directors from India, and he has won Emmy Award as well, apart from Oscars, if I remember correctly. Right? Great.
Yes,
And
certainly.
Geeta, please describe yourself in just one word.
Approachable.
Okay, great. And if
That
you were
somebody just gave me a compliment just a few days before, and she said, "You are approachable, Geeta." So I just remembered that word.
no, that's great deed actually. That's a great trait to have, because it is not that easy to establish that kind of thing wherein people come easily and feel that particular connect to be able to talk to you so easily, right? So not
Hmm.
everybody is blessed with that trait. So that's great. And Geeta, if you were given a chance to talk to Prime Minister of India, what would you talk to him?
Okay. So I would. It's a real thing. What is there on my mind is that as on today, 10% of India's population is senior citizens. Senior citizens are those who are aged above 60.
Yeah,
And it's predicted it's by 2050, 20% of India's population is going to be senior citizen. In order to help our own economy, our own country's economy, and also to these senior citizens who already have so much of knowledge, experience, skills, and with the rise in our life expectation, like age. Earlier it
right.
was around 58 in 90s, and now it's 68.
Yeah.
So we are having 10 years of their experience. How do we use this resource? It's a huge resource which is there, available to us, and it's already there. Like 2020, already we are in 2024. So how can we use these resources and help the next generation so they don't have to go through the same struggle what we have
Mm.
gone through?
Yeah.
The learnings, yes, are definitely going to be different. So, how can they come out with a plan for them? And I would like to be a part of that plan.
Superb. I loved it. And for those of you who are listening, and in case if you have any connections with PMO, I think we have to make sure that this message goes to the PMO office and reaches Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. And that's an excellent stuff. And we can discuss offline as well in terms how do we take it there. And great thought, Geeta. And let's move forward to the next one. So, given a chance to collaborate with anyone in the world on any project, who would it be and which project?
So for this year, the thought started last year. This year, it's like I'm working on it.
Mhm.
I would like NLP, neuro linguistic programming, just the basics, fundamentals to be taught in school and colleges.
Wow. Mhm.
I want the next generation, all the schools and colleges, students to come out with understanding how to manage their brain.
Yep.
And how, who can help me is again, I'm using this platform to ask, for collaborators, educators, academics, please come forward and see how I can help you all to
Yeah.
achieve this. So, because that's my dream. Yeah. So that's my purpose of life. That's what I want to achieve.
Wonderful. And for those of you who are interested to contribute or to collaborate on this one, you'll find Gita Sethi's LinkedIn profile in the show notes or the episode description. Please go ahead and connect with her. She's approachable. I've been in contact with her for last 1.5 years, and she's an amazing individual to talk to. Wonderful. And here comes the last bullet out of rapid fire round. And Geeta, what is one electronic gadget that you like to see or invent yourself?
I always imagine that I could just put a chip on my shoulder, and then if I just want to walk across the door of my house, go in my car, I don't have to use locks. Accessibility is what I want. It should be all programmed in.
Oh, wow.
And the thought behind is to remember to carry all the keys, the
Mhm.
combinations, the passwords. Accessibility is what I'm looking at.
No, again, fantastic thought, and I think it's a great startup idea. A lot of ideas come through this question, actually, and this is one of the brilliant ideas that I've come across so far. And Geeta, this has been fabulous rapid fire round, and let's flip back to the mainstream. So, with the rise of this remote work and digital communication tools, right? What strategies do you suggest for maintaining effective communication within the virtual teams?
Yes, very important. And this is what I'm working from home. So I go through this situation almost every time I interact with anyone. The first and foremost thing is videos should be on.
Yeah,
Again, that communication. Communication is not going to happen just with 7% of the words.
yeah,
It needs that 38%. 38% again, you have to be vocal. You should be able to express it in the proper tone. What message are you giving? Just saying like, oh yeah, it's this and that. It is not going to help neither you nor the other person.
right.
And third is very important is when we are talking to that person, we should have that eye contact. And that's why the video has to be on. And also, we should be able to show through gestures. Now, for example, I'm not able to hear you, or
Yeah,
you're not able to hear me when I'm saying. So, you should be able to quickly say that, I cannot hear you. So, because the person who's talking or giving a message or saying something will keep on going on, and that
right.
person is not hearing.
Correct.
So, unless that communication or that connect is not happening, you will not be able to interrupt that person.
Yeah,
And many times we feel shy that, oh, this person is saying, I should just listen. That should not happen,
yeah,
because that's the most challenge of doing virtual sessions is we have to be responsive. We have to be, able to express that, yes, we are listening, we are nodding our heads and everything. And very important, again, I would say video should be on. You should be in a very good atmosphere. Mentally, you should prepare yourself that this is what I'm doing. Be focused, and also see to it that whenever you get certain kinds of disturbances due to any reason, suppose at this point of time, a doorbell rings, right?
Yeah.
At my place, or somebody comes in and just, they may not realize that what is happening. So we should be very honest in saying what has happened instead of just switching off my video or switching off my mic, and just the other person like, oh, what happened? Like,
Right.
totally in the question mark. And so you should be honest in explaining what has happened, and say that, take a pause, like, switch off your mic as well as video and get up and open the door, so that person also knows this is happening.
Right.
And don't show a blank background or something also. So just
Yeah.
be more conscious that this is an interaction happening. It's not just listening and talking, and all that is not happening. It's not just hearing.
Yeah.
So you have to be a very good listener and be a very active listener, even though we are far apart. So that's how you build up that rapport.
Right. Agreed. And it is very important for us to turn on the video, especially when you are operating in a virtual environment along with the people from diverse locations and all. And that also brings that authenticity part, and at least other person
Yes.
will also be able to reciprocate. Okay, you are attentive and you are listening, right? And you are not multitasking. And at times what happens is, if you are not turned your video on, there is a tendency that we might slowly get into our mobile phone or some other gadget
Yes.
that comes handy,
Yes.
right? Yeah. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Great tips. And thank you so much, Geeta, for being part of this particular series. And thank you once again for being part of the Guiding Voice English journey as well. And we'll see you in the next episode of this TGV MindShift series. So, friends, that was our episode with Gita Sethi as part of TGV MindShift series. And today we have covered part one of this particular series, which is about the power of communication. So before we jump into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request. In case if you haven't already subscribed to TGV, the Guiding Voice podcast series, please subscribe to our podcast from wherever you have tuned in, because you learn a lot through this podcast, and subscribing keeps you updated on new episodes, and you will meet guests across the globe. And if you have enjoyed this conversation and found it useful, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who would also like TGV, the Guiding Voice. So spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you. All right, now it's time for us to cruise into the trivia segment. And today's trivia is about lesser known and amusing facts about communication, because we had a discussion on what communication means to you as part of TGV MindShift series with Gita Sethi. And here comes the first fact. It is about hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are excellent communicators, and while they may be tiny creatures, hummingbirds have a fascinating way of communicating, and they produce a variety of sounds, including chirps, squeaks, and even loud whistles to communicate with each other. And these sounds are used for courtship, territorial defense, and also warning signals. And despite their small size, hummingbirds demonstrate remarkable communication skills in their interaction with other members of their species. And the next fact is about penguins use trumpeting to communicate underwater. Do you know? Penguins are known for their adorable waddles on land, but they also engage in fascinating communication behaviors underwater. When swimming, penguins can produce distinctive vocalizations known as trumpeting to communicate with each other. These sounds serve various purposes, including mate recognition, territorial defense, and coordination during group activities. And it's both surprising and amusing to learn about the creative ways in which penguins communicate in their underwater world. And folks, these are the two facts which I wanted to talk to you, which I wanted to present to you as part of trivia today. But I'm curious to get to know more interesting facts about communication. And in case if you are aware of any interesting stuff, please feel free to comment. If you're watching this episode on YouTube, or if you found this episode on social media platform, you can comment there as well. That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and also for being part of our awesome TGV family. We love to hear from you, and do not hesitate to share your ideas, feedback, topic recommendations, guest speaker suggestions either through social media or email us at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com, and let's create content that resonates with you I'm your host, Naveen Samala, a lifelong learner, and my goal is to have impactful conversations that improve not only your life but also your career. Until next time, take care, stay inspired, and remember the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another amazing guest.